Hello, I am Umbrenero and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is Let's Do Diamond Art Again, Part 4. So this time we did not have an issue where I lost all the footage, unlike Part 3. And honestly, that was fully my fault that all the footage was lost, but things happen and you can only control so much. But let's get into this with part 4, which is the first half of the final canvas. And I decided with this one, I wanted to do the bottom half of this canvas first for a very specific reason. And that reason is I wanted to do the bright, colorful area last. AKA all the purples and stuff like that. So, I'm like, let's do this dark area, get it done, and go from there. And that's exactly what I did. So, in reality, I was picking colors mostly at random up until I got to the end. Then I had a strategy for the colors I was doing. But here I was really just grabbing whatever color stood out to me, because I wanted to get through as much as I could, as fast as I could. And I'll say it takes me about 5.5 hours to do half of one of these paintings. Well, I wouldn't call it a painting. These diamond arts takes me about 5.5 hours to do half of a canvas, and it gets to wear you down sometimes. But that's where I just wanted to go with this one. I just wanted to keep going and get as much done as I possibly could. And I was trying to do everything of solid color at a time, and while going through, I did realize, hey, I missed some of this color. I missed one of the color I just got done with, and stuff like that happens. But you keep going and you carry on. And this one had a lot of green to it, which I don't remember the exact artwork, but I think there's a large section of green, if I remember correctly. But I kept going and getting done what I could get done. But I had a ruler up at the top to kind of help keep me on focus of what area am I doing, because there were some times where I wanted to go above my halfway point. So I figured ruler's there, I can't see, so I'm not touching that area. And I will say there was many times where I basically went full squirrel and was going from one side to the opposite to another area, just bouncing around and filling in very random spots instead of doing one area, then moving to the next area, or going line by line. But it happens. You just gotta go with the flow that works for you, and for me, it happened to be bouncing around to 20 different areas, one right after the other. But I still kept on going. But one of the things that I did subconsciously do different in this part than from part 3 was in between doing a dark color, I would do one of the sparkly diamonds afterwards, just to take a break from the darkness and do something else. And it helped, but there are some of these letters that look so close to another that I needed a break from looking at some of the areas, because T and Y started looking very similar. U and V started looking extremely similar, and they're only a slight shade difference for both of those examples. And having that, oh, I'm gonna look at this bright sparkly one instead for a couple minutes, it helped. Like, while I was filling in the V, there were so many times I thought I put it on a spot where it was supposed to be U, but it wasn't. It was where it was actually supposed to go. But I kept carrying on and getting done as much as I could. As you could see, I had my little diamond cup on top of the canvas there in the one clip. That was where I ended one night. It's like, I'm done for tonight, putting this here so that way I don't lose place of where I was. And you know what? That actually helps quite a bit. But giving myself something to really hyper focus on, it is kind of nice, because it gets me away from problems of real life and stuff like that. Because you just get to forget your problems and focus on the artwork right there in front of you. So this is one of the areas where using one of the tools that lets you put down multiple dots, some people would go and use that only, but I do not prefer using that because I can't get my diamonds to line up nicely for them. So that's why I hand place each individual diamond one at a time as I go through, because I'm not going to fight with this part and hoping that it's going to actually be full. But I kept on going because that's what I had to do. You just overcome the problem and just keep filling in what you can do. And here is an example of when I was doing a couple little sparkly spots and then went right back to another dark color. And I do have to say, this half of this canvas was the darkest part of this canvas. And you get a lot of eye fatigue from looking at that similar shade for so long and all that stuff. But I kept going. But seeing all of these areas starting to get filled in over time, it is satisfying and something that is just so relaxing to see. Because you start seeing that image come together that wasn't there before. Like, yeah, you can see kind of, oh, there might be a little bit of this color here that's slightly in this shape, but you can't tell what it is until you actually get those dots, diamonds in, and see what the image is that has been growing this whole time while you've been doing this art. Yes, there were times where I would get frustrated with the area I was working on, but that's why I would change the direction I was putting the dots in from. Because sometimes that different perspective is just that little bit of what you need to get things done. And slowly watching these canvases fill up line by line, it becomes more and more satisfying, especially when you get to the end. Like when your second to last color is a big area that's so spread out, it just is so satisfying as you are putting in those rows that were missing and just filling in that little bit that was left. But this is only half of the last canvas for this project. There's still another half to go. And then it's the final reveal of how this entire project ended up looking. So, thanks for watching, and if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!